Hello, I'm Jürgen Miller, and this is my automatic lane detection written in Python. My pipeline is as follows. First, I snip the image, then mask it, threshold, blur it, detect the edges on it, fit the lines, find the medians of those lines, and plot those. The result of this is a video read from a file and played from a file with the detected lane lines overlaid. First off, my snip is defined by fractions rather than pixel-defined points, like in the original pipeline. It is specific to mounting of this camera in the car, as it is taking a specific section of the frame. However, this would be adaptable to different resolutions, as a larger camera could still have the same proportion taken out of it. This means that a camera could be upgraded with minimal changes to the pipeline. This snip also returns the offsets from the original image to the snip, which is useful when working with the original frame later. Next up, a mask looks at only a trapezoid within the snip. This mask is only looking at the road in front of the car and does not, the pipeline does not look outside of the trapezoid even if no lane lines are detected. Next, to threshold the image, first I convert the image to grayscale. Then I find the average brightness of the image and calculate a threshold, which depends on the average brightness. I found that the threshold was not linear with average brightness, but I actually found that square root was a good fit to get the desired threshold. After that, I masked the image for pixels that are brighter than this threshold. I found this had some benefits, but also some disadvantages from the original HSV-based algorithm. First of all, it does adapt to the brightness of the frame. So a brighter frame will have a brighter average brightness, and this will be able to adapt to that. However, it can be tricked by colors other than white, because it's not doing color detection, it's doing brightness detection. And when an frame is changing, such as when approaching a bridge, the average brightness across the image is not the perfect indicator of whether it's a lane line or not. But neither my algorithm or the HSV is able to avoid reflections or white lines other than lane lines. After that, I blur the image. This uses Gaussian blur. Then I apply the edge detection using the Canny algorithm. Here. I considered, after that is line fitting using the Huff transform. In this, I considered dynamically changing the threshold to find the best fitting line, but instead I used a static threshold and then later found the median of the return lines, which is more likely to overcome noise such as other lines, whereas the changing threshold would find the best fit, but it's not guaranteed to be the agreed lane detected line. To find these median lines, I first filter them into a left and right. Here it is. First, I filter them into left and right by the slope. Found 22.5 to 90 degrees, so it can't be horizontal, but it has to be facing bottom left to top right, or 180 degrees plus that. Will mean that it's a left line. And the same for the right line, using different parameters here. And thus, this cuts down on some lines that could be detected that aren't a lane line and are horizontal, which could either be actual lines drawn on the road or mistakes by the thresholding. Then I take the median of the theta and the rho for right and left lines. This finds the average left and right lane lines, or median left and right lane lines. I considered splitting the frame into left and right sides and then applying an line detection, but I realized that this could have problems when changing lines or in sharp turns, where just looking at one half of the image might not give you the information you need, and the line might span both halves of the image. Then, to plot them, all of these lines are converted into spherical coordinates by a couple different functions. And using the offset from the original image, then they are plotted on the original image. So it's helpful that the snip returned my offset. So possible improvements are to add persistence to detected lane lines. If there is no line, my algorithm just says, oh, there's no line, and doesn't do anything. But if there's no line, the last detected lane line could be used for a small time interval, such as for half a second. Trust that that line is probably still there. This could work well on dashed lines. My algorithm flashes the line there and away as it finds each dash. And on places where there's like a lane joining from a side, and the lane line disappears for a short time while the lane is changing. But then it comes back shortly, and it can be detected again. Another improvement was to avoid detection of other lines beyond the lane lines. One of these test videos has a lot of lines on the right side that are not lane lines. So instead, only the lines closest to the car could be considered, and the other ones could be ignored. And that may do a better job at finding only these lane lines and ignoring other lines that may be present on the road. Another improvement could be add detection for crossing lane lines. This would be helpful for the driver. It could be detected if the location of a lane line is too close to the center of the frame. That means the car is too close to the line and maybe over the line, and it'd be useful to warn the driver in that case. This lane line detection algorithm could also be expanded to not just plotting these infinite lines using linear slope, but to look at line segments and curves. This could look farther ahead at the road and fit a curve to how the lane line is changing, which would give information useful for when you get slightly farther down the road. And it could possibly even understand elevation change by looking at how far it can see and how the elevation of the road ahead. And this could be made into a rudimentary self-driving car by taking the slope and the location of the lines to determine a steering wheel angle that would keep the car within the lines. Thank you.